Today I'm sharing with you my thoughts on another 5-bottle fragrance haul from KDJ INSPIRED that I've really been enjoying recently. I reviewed 5 bottles from them a few weeks ago, and honestly all of them have absolutely blown me away every time that I've worn them in terms of their accuracy and performance. So today I'm going to be letting you know if I just got lucky the first time or whether these next 5 are going to convert me into becoming a KDJ INSPIRED superfan. So to find out what's made it into this latest haul, stay tuned to Mags Frags. Yes, hello again and welcome to this latest episode of Mags Frags. My name's Paul, but I'm sure most of you will probably know that by now anyway, and today I'm taking a look at another 5 inspired by fragrances from KDJ. These are all the EDP versions, which are 22% concentration of fragrance oil, and I picked them up in the 10ml pocket spray size, and these usually cost around about £8 each. There are 5 other sizes available, and when you get up to the 50ml and the 100ml size, they then become available in the X-Ray version with a whopping 50% concentration of high quality fragrance oil. They're also currently doing a buy 2 and get a third one at half price offer, and on top of that you can use my unique discount code which you'll get a further 10% discount site wide, and the code for that is PAUL10, and this is a permanent discount you can use every time you want to use it, and it's not just for new customers or first time purchases. Yes, so in this haul I picked up copies of fragrances that I already own the originals of, as well as copies from the Perfume Parlour and also the Essence Vault. These ones that I picked up today are inspired by Layton from Parfums de Marly. Then we've got this one here, Sauvage Elixir, which is inspired by Dior Sauvage Elixir. Then there's an inspired by fragrance of Oud for Greatness from Initio Parfums. Then there's Noir Extreme, which is the Tom Ford copy. And then finally, if there's any ladies watching today, I also picked up a copy of Love Don't Be Shy by Killian. Yes, so when these first got delivered, they arrived at about 10 in the morning, and I opened them up and I gave myself just one spray of the Oud for Greatness on the back of my hand and a single spray of the Sauvage Elixir on the other hand, and within 10 seconds it was just like spraying the originals, and both were instantly recognisable, and I didn't get any nasty alcohol blast, and I didn't need to raise my hands anywhere near my nose to smell them. And by the way, I actually had a bit of an happy accident here, because the scent cloud that these 2 fragrances produced together in the air was absolutely great, and I highly recommend layering these 2 fragrances together, because I found I kind of find the Sauvage Elixir to be a little bit too resinous and herbal for my taste, but the sweet woodiness from the Oud for Greatness just seems to round off all the bitterness, and it's a really interesting hybrid. So I'd say give this a go and just tell me what you think. I really enjoyed smelling these together that day, but as I got into bed that evening, round about 11 o'clock, I got a huge waft of them as I were climbing into bed, so they were still detectable and projecting well over 12 hours after first spraying them. Again with the other 3, as soon as you spray them, there's absolutely no mistaking what they're meant to be inspired by, and nobody would ever know that you're wearing a dupe. I've got to be straight up and honest and give credit where credit's due, and say that so far, in terms of straight up quality of juice, the KDJ inspired fragrances that I've tried so far are pretty much the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme of cologne houses. And before anyone says anything down in the comments that I'm getting paid to say this, or I'm sponsored by them, or any of that nonsense, I can assure you that I'm not being paid anything to advertise their products. And if that was the case and these were a load of rubbish, I'd say they were a load of rubbish, or I wouldn't talk about them in the first place. But as you can see from this bottle that I bought a few weeks ago, I've already made an absolute huge dent in it, and I wear it pretty much every evening, even though I've got a 250 bottle of the original. So if that's not an endorsement, I don't know what is. The Leighton copy is pretty much spot on, apart from maybe being a touch brighter in the opening. And the Love Don't Be Shy is the best copy I've smelled so far. However, I'm not too keen on the opening of this particular fragrance, even in the original one by Killian. But the dry down's absolutely lovely and pretty much identical to the original to my nose. The Noir Extreme is again top quality, but it's also great from the other clone houses too, so I guess this scent DNA is fairly easy to replicate, but nevertheless an absolutely stunning cold weather fragrance. I'm not going to go into depth with note breakdowns and describing what each one of these smells like, because they're all very popular fragrances, and if you want to know that kind of information, it's all been talked about in like loads of times in my other videos on the channel, so feel free to go check those out. This is more about the accuracy and the performance of these KDJ inspired by scents, and to me they're so close that if I had to do a blind test of just some tester strips, I would 100% guess that some of these were actually the original and not a dupe. Yeah, so in summary, I can't tell you how impressed I've been with all of these fragrances that I've received so far from KDJ Inspired. But don't just take my word for it. Have a quick browse on some of the forums or check out some more of the other reviews, and you'll see for yourself how many people are raving about them. They really are now starting to create a real buzz, and that's because even these standard EDP sprays last all day and have hardly any of that off-putting alcohol blast in the opening. They're pretty much good to go straight out of the gate, but I am still going to let these macerate anyway and just see if they can improve on what is really high quality juice in the first place. The Oud for Greatness copy and the Sauvage Elixir copies are literally 12-hour beasts. The other three were not quite as crazy, but still you'll get a good 7 to 8 hours of longevity out of them, and they all project really well. They also now have hundreds of fragrances to choose from on their website, which I've also got to say is a joy to navigate. And it's so user friendly and intuitive, with colour coded images with the notes listed alongside, and the way that it's categorised just makes it really easy to browse. There's free UK shipping on all of these, and the delivery time on this was super smooth, and these took just a couple of days to arrive. So yes, I've definitely become a bit of a KDJ groupie, and next time I think I'm going to take the plunge and buy a full haul of the big hitting extra versions that come in the 50% concentration. Yeah, so once again, that's about it for today's episode, but don't forget I'll be back with loads more original fragrances in the 365 project. However, with the cost of living soaring, I'm going to concentrate more on good quality, cheaper, affordable fragrances now, because I can no longer go out myself and spend silly money anymore, so I'll leave the niche stuff to the big channels for the time being. I've also got another couple of fantastic Middle Eastern fragrances to talk about, so lots of good stuff coming up in the near future. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and that way you won't miss any of my future uploads. I'd also love to hear all your own thoughts and your experiences with KDJ fragrances, so if you've picked up any of these in the past and you can recommend any for me to try out and talk about in future episodes, then don't forget to let me know down in the comments section. You can also check out my other KDJ inspired review by clicking the thumbnail, which should be now at the top left corner of your screen, so don't forget to give that a watch if you haven't already done so. So once again, thank you very much once again for tuning into this episode. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon for another KDJ inspired review, hopefully. Bye bye for now.